Hi, my name is Mary. Jerry and I do the outdoor staycations social media sites, including YouTube. Most of the time I do the background items for YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, Instagram. You don't find me on camera, but he asked if I would please talk about my experience in gate guarding. First of all, we had a goal. We wanted to go gate guarding because we wanted to replenish our emergency fund that we had dipped into. We wanted to pay a large bill that was kind of hanging over our head, and we wanted to have some more travel money. All of that was a success. We definitely replenished our emergency fund. We paid off a major bill, and we definitely had have some money to travel with. As far as gate guarding itself, we did a lot of research before we went and got involved in gate guarding. How did we research? We followed Facebook pages, we talked to people, we read articles, listened to people that we had met at the Beet Harvest about their experience gate guarding. One of the people that I met at the Beet Harvest, her and her partner went and gate guarded for well over a year, and we kept in contact, and she gave me lots and lots of information. Thank you very much, Kate. I really appreciate it. We also followed Steve Turtle on his YouTube channel. He had an article every week when he was gate guarding. He's at a Work Camper's story. I'll put the links down below. So we had a lot of information. We felt very prepared to go gate guarding. That being said, our experience wasn't like any of those experiences. They went to one location in most cases, and they worked straight through until they were ready to leave. We arrived in January with all the other snowbirds. There's a large influx of people who come down in January to gate guard, or maybe even in November or December to be winter snowbirds and to gate guard and pick up some money. So when we arrived in January, the Quartzsite show had just happened, and the good folks there did a really good job recruiting, and they signed at least 25 couples to come gate guarding, which meant all of these new people were arriving just about the same time we were. There wasn't as many opportunities out there, and we did spend a little time hanging out, waiting between jobs. But let's get to the jobs. Jerry's already told you. If you haven't seen his video, he did one several weeks ago. I'll link it at the bottom of this article. And he has the other half of this conversation entitled Gate Guarding. He says my part 1, and mine is Gate Guarding, she says, part 2. I'll link them both here. So we went gate guarding. The very first thing is our first job, we didn't have a gate. We were basically road crew. We were directing trucks to detour around the construction. Extremely dirty, very, very dusty. Every day, multiple times a day, you would be wiping down the tables and counters and vacuuming the sofa inside your unit. The dust was thick enough that you wipe your hand on it and your hand was covered in dust. We were supposed to be there, I think, 5 days, and we ended up there maybe 10 or 11 days. The money was fine. We went back and we sat around for a while waiting for our next gig. We also was road construction. The difference is our whole job was to keep the big trucks from driving over this little teeny bridge, and again to detour them around. Nothing wrong with the job. Super, super easy. Anyone could do it. The difficulty was we were working out of our truck, and working out of our truck meant that 12 hours or daytime I was in the truck, then I would switch and he would be in the truck. We were never together. We probably only saw each other 10, 20 minutes a day. Again, the money was fine. Super easy job. Couldn't wait for it to be over because we kind of like each other. You know, we've been married 40 years. We enjoy spending time together. And this idea of just passing in the night wasn't my idea of a good job. We went back again and waited for the next job, and at this point, all of these other people had come in from courtside and people from various ads, and there was a large influx of workers, and probably more workers than there were available jobs. So we were offered to go from West Texas to South Texas. South Texas, it was a whole different scenario. Our particular job was to work at gates, each of us to work 12 hours. The two gates were about a mile apart, and the money was all right. We were told in advance we'd be getting 48 hours a week, which would mean 40 hours straight time at $12.50 and 8 hours overtime. It doesn't quite work out that way. When you work 4 hours on and 4 hours off, there's some weeks that it only falls 3 days in a week, which means you're only getting 36 hours and you're not getting any overtime. There's a big difference there. The job itself was fine. It wasn't difficult. We chose not to stay nearby the job. We chose to drive into town every day. That added an hour commute in each direction. But money-wise, it went fine. A lot of people talk about having hobbies, bringing crafts, painting, knitting, crocheting, writing a book when they're gate guarding. None of that applied to us. In our typical day, even on a slow gate, even when it was an off day, if we get 8 or 10 trucks an hour, that means every 6 minutes you're going to open manually the gates, register the truck, send him on his way. There isn't time in between this to do anything. And if it was a busy gate or busy time of the process, we could have 20 or more trucks during an hour. So I found myself just playing on my phone all the time, which isn't the best thing. It's not the most interesting thing to be doing all day long. Money-wise, it worked out really well. We had in our mind, after paying expenses for our gas from Washington State down to Texas, after paying our travel expenses of a few campsites along the way, and our expenses to travel back up to Tennessee to our next job, we wanted to have $9,000. And so, not only did we pay off a credit card and as I said, a bill that was kind of hanging out there, but yes, we have the $9,000 we were looking for. We only worked 13 weeks. And remember, when we were at our last job, we were paying for our own utilities and our own site, and we were paying our gasoline. So all of that, after all that was paid, we still met our goal of having $9,000 in the kitty. So we're very satisfied financially. I myself not sure if I would go back and do it. On one side, I would go back immediately if I found myself in an emergency situation where I had to take money out of my emergency fund again. I would immediately be looking to go there, because anybody who goes there and wants a job and is willing to wait till the next gate is available, it's a sure thing. On the other side, just to go down there to sit there for 3 months to have some place to be in the wintertime, I'm not much interested in that. I had friends down there that work until they have enough money to go to Europe. I have a friend down there that needed a new tow vehicle. Went down there, worked long enough to have cash to buy a tow vehicle. I had a friend that bought a motorhome with the cash. So there's definitely people down in Texas making money and doing well. But I've always had to have more than a paycheck to want to get up and go to work. So for me, unless I was planning on doing something special, like upgrading my fifth wheel or, adding on to maybe a house that I bought or something, I'm not sure that I would personally go back. I'd like you to check out Steve's videos and also RV SWAT's videos. They're very, very informative. And please, please remember to give us a thumbs up, share our story, and hit that alarm. We're working really hard to have informative videos that we hope you come back time and time again and watch. It was nice talking to you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.